Hi everybody. So we are meeting today Thierry Beaupied, the head trader of Transoil, and we are showing to him the progress we are making in building our MVP. Hi guys.
Hi.
Hello. Hello, Thierry. How are you?
Good, thank you. Very excited to see the progress of your platform. Really.
So I'm Robert and I'm going to present our progress of the development, and with Andre we are here to see and share our good news. So yes, our MVP is due to soon, and we are now have a very active time integrating all the concepts. We had successfly created a very advanced, in fact, API system, in fact done by Facebook. So we are reusing a very good technology, and here we wanted to show you the MVP, the minimum valuable product, work in progress. And our MVP is constructed of a trade execution. So it's a single screen, a view, where the buyer and the seller can conclude a contract and go through all these different stages. So as we can see here, yes, the trade starts with a trade contract, where the parties can agree on and discuss the details of a trade. So here we have in fact two screens because we are still integrating these things. So in one screen it shows more or less what will be the trade view. So it consists with the concluding the main contract, and then stages. So the stages will be unlocked, and anybody can modify the stages or add something.
So we identified about approximately 13 stages of the contracts. For example, the first one, as you can see, Thierry, is seller to charter the vessel and send vessel nomination on the blockchain.
Document restriction.
It's basically by doing that he's triggering the execution of the smart contract. You see. So 13 stages, okay.
So and each stage has its owner. So the one who is responsible for delivering the document, describing it, and making sure that this is correct. And the other guy. So whenever buyer or seller is the owner, the other guy we call it approver. And in general, like long term, yes, this will be the group. So let's say if we have a trade, there are a few people involved, then this is like we call them actors. Okay. So the trade contract, this is the first step. We call it sometimes also stage 0. Yes, we need to conclude it. Then we go through different stages. It can run simultaneously. We add the documents, and this we are showing in the other version.
So let me just quickly say about the contract, Thierry. Basically, the buyer and the seller can initiate and upload their version of the contract, and if the other party agrees, okay, then he can just by clicking on one button, he can book the contract. Just booked. If he agrees, if he needs to buy very quickly, etc. If they don't have draft contracts, basically. With them, we will have templates as per GAFTA, from which they can choose one and discuss the terms. There will be chat function and agree to the contract. And basically, they need to digitally sign it. Okay, okay, Robert.
And the negotiation goes through chats.
This is a very good question. So at the very beginning, like I will show you here maybe in a second, but at the very beginning. Yes, this will be in the same way as it is now, but during the phase when we go into the production, we are going to add more features where all of this will be in one place. So we would like to avoid the emails or the mess with the emails. We want to bring the chat functionality with the threads, and each action the parties agree on, so approval or rejection on booking the contract, is digitally signed and written on a blockchain. So here is like a very short like a screen of the stages and how this list looks like. And this is our previous version. This is the newer version, which we are still working on. And here again, you can see that something is in progress.
Open
As
chat,
I mentioned, yes, like all these chats are threaded. So there will be here a global chat to discuss just the trade, but then to have it more organized, the traders can open a chat. It's like a LinkedIn chat window. It's this will be done later this year, probably November, December. They can open a threaded chat. So to not lose the context. So let's say we want to, I don't know, discuss something and have it in a chat instead of in the email about the stage 1 or about the contract. I click here and I discuss only this thing.
Okay.
So the stage approved, disapproved?
Yeah, so this is the idea. Then the parties, so the owner here, in this case a seller, he will add the documents.
He will upload the documents?
He will upload the documents, so we see who in fact added, because maybe we can delegate the action to, so the senior trader can delegate the action to work on it to the other guy.
There will be different access categories.
To operation department, to chartering department.
Exactly, so we'll have this role-based authentication where we know in fact then who did the action, as each of them will have this identity and the rejection.
Okay.
So now we are integrated it with our, let's say, server part, where all this functionality is integrated. Is already implemented, and now adding the user interface for it. So when you click, you can click and reject, and when you reject the document, you need to add a note why you're rejecting it. Then the other party is obliged to upload a new version. So I can show you in a second then with our mockup how does it look like. Or here so you have the reason, and you can add the reason and submit the new version then of the document. So this is how it's functioning, how we want to in fact present the flow.
But understand? Can we, when the documentary instruction are sent, does the seller can send some draft of shipping documents?
Yes.
Sure.
He can
draft first, and then for approval, and then to be issued.
He's allowed to add as many documents as he wants. Okay. So and then once, for example, he delivers of the document, and there is no document in progress. So it's all the documents which are submitted, they have to be either approved or rejected. Yes. And then we, let's say, agree, then we have a chat. The chat is recorded that, okay, let's say we agree that it's over. Then we can close the stage.
Okay. Buyer to nominate the agent and all the process of operations, right?
Yes, and that will go through.
Till the end, till the demurrage, dispatch, recuperation.
Let's say that in the middle we want to add a new stage, because we say that, okay, like something is missing or we want to add it. So you can add a new stage name.
To be flexible.
A description and who owns it, so who is responsible for it. Buyer and the seller.
At that stage of the operations, so contract is concluded, operations of execution start to be processed. Do you have already information about the banks or the laboratory which has been chosen or not yet to make the analysis, surveying company which is going to be involved or not yet at that stage?
Well, in the contract, obviously, you will have the surveyor, like SPR SGS or Intertech or whatever. And the laboratories, if it's a Russian origin, I mean, you don't have a choice. It's, some Russian laboratories, or in Ukraine, Ukrainians, or you can specify. Maybe you're talking about some seats. Then
I don't know. I mean, just to know if at that stage already the name of the bank, buyer's bank, or the lab which is going to be used for analyzing.
That's
going to be
that's the choice.
Or not?
That's the choice. It's either it can be in a contract, or it can be like discussed in a chat.
From time to time, many times the lab is not nominated inside the contract, or the surveying company has to be GAFTA or FOSFA, but it's not nominated inside the contract.
So we can
it has a buyer's or seller's option, for example.
We can make a stage where this, let's say, where we will choose. Let's say we call it stage. Choose or nominate the company for this operation. And
but
here we agree, and it's
thanks for pointing out. We need to think about it.
So this is how more or less it looks like. So it brings all the activity into one place, and also the digital signatures, proofs. We try to avoid with the time adding more features to really have everything nicely documented. Yes, and visible to the traders.
A question. I presume that this contract are not going to be signed anymore physically, but because it's going to be an electronic signature, right? I mean,
Correct.
code, kind of.
Digital signature.
Digital. So, but legally speaking, if there is a large dispute going to the court or execution or something, does this digital signature are recognized by countries or certain countries or the World Trade Organization or anything?
Almost by all countries, Thierry,
this is
digital signatures.
Actually?
This is a very good question. We've been already discussing with the lawyers from Switzerland, from the UK, and from Netherlands, as how this can be implemented. There are certain rules you need to, of course, obey. It's not like everything. That's what it has to be clear. It has to be well designed, in fact, yes, that the parties well understand. So there's a special requirements to make it legal to the court or to the arbitration, but this is already recognized. If you go with the rules,
because depending countries and depending rules and the underlying contract, if it is FOSFA or GAFTA, or if the contract, the business has been negotiated by a broker, which is especially also FOSFA or GAFTA member, it has not been necessarily to be signed. But certain countries do not recognize the validity of the contract if it goes to the court. Not a simple arbitration, but if it goes to the court, they don't recognize necessarily the validity of the contract if it has not been signed by the laws of the country.
And by the way, the banks very often require signed contracts.
And the bankers as well. So I mean, it depends. So just a random question, but.
So in fact, we solve both of these things. So in case where, as we said, like we identified with the new Europe Union, and in fact in Russia also, yes, that yes, if this is done correctly, the digital signatures are valid. If somebody, for a certain reason, yes, want to have like a bit double secure, because he doesn't trust or anything, he can sign by hand, scan the document, upload it here, sign using the blockchain, and voila.
Yes, and Thierry, we will have also time bomb, what we call time bomb. For example, you got a stage documentary instructions. Okay, so buyer needs to send documentary instructions very often within 3 days after vessel nomination. Okay, 3-5 days. Okay, and we will have here after vessel nomination the request and the time limit. That in 3 days, the time is over for documentary instructions, okay? And it's going to be like an alert, it's going to be in red. So this will discipline, I think, the counterparties. And also we might think about some penalties. If, for example, some actions are not done in time, there could be a little premium to be paid by buyer, We'll see.
Everything depends what will be in a contract, or that's the flexibility of stages. Yeah, so let's say if stage expired because parties they didn't hold on what
it's
they
very
agreed
interesting for certain buyers which have to be educated, buyer and or sellers. They have to be educated and much well or better educated. But on the other side, time to time we have very good customers, and for reasons beyond their control, they cannot send it timely today, but they're gonna send it just right 1 day or two after, or once the vessel is arriving, not 3 days before the vessel arrival at load port, but just by the time. And if it is a good customer, so that's why the system is good to educate some people, but time to time we need also some flexibility, especially when it doesn't cost anything.
No, you choose when you want to add a new stage, or when you want to specify something, or sorry, it was when you want to add a new document. Yes, you choose an expired time to
Because the machine, the system, blockchain, I
Yes.
call it the machine, but the computer, everything computerized,
But
avoid the human relation or time to time needed flexibility.
Yeah.
Time to time you need some flexibility, and time to time you don't need some flexibility.
yeah, thanks Thierry for saying that. We need to think about it, definitely.
So if you do some system, the system has to be, I would say for sure, straight, cannot be manipulated, or, but
That's a very good point. In fact, we deliver this function and so this flexibility.
but if it is too straight, too strict, time to time it can pose some.
That's a very very good point. In fact, we deliver this flexibility by allowing that
Or just warning the parties that after that date you may get fined automatically.
Yeah.
And maybe the seller, if the seller is willing, in front of his buyer, because for question which is again beyond the buyer's control, maybe the seller can waive up this fine.
Yeah.
the
For
framework,
example.
the framework, in fact, yes, it works for that. That the parties can say that okay, we make a new stage, which invalidates the previous stage because something happened. Let's say for some economical reasons,
Always something happened. Yeah.
market collapse and we couldn't deliver in a time, and parties agree on it that it's okay. We
Or
don't
the
want.
vessel is late, or I mean,
Yes,
who
we
knows?
don't.
There
We
is
don't
so many
want.
issues.
We agree, both of us, that we don't go into the problems. So let's make a new stage which invalidates. This has to be clear written.
Yeah.
This stage invalidates the stage, for example, 5, and these are our new. This is our new agreement for that.
And obviously, Thierry, here you will have later added offers and bids. From which you can choose. It's not yet for the MVP. The trade history, everything there. What else, Robert?
So another thing is this digital signatures. We are already collaborating with a few companies providing a solution to make it this what we call a wallet. So a way how you hold, how you store your identity, and how do you manage the keys. So something that could be very, let's say, easy and affordable for the people
Right.
in the system.
Okay, guys. Thanks very much. Stay tuned.
Thank you.